So yesterday was Epiphany on the Christian Gregorian calendar. Epiphany, otherwise known as King's Day or Los Tres Reyes Day. The idea, this was the 12th day of Christmas, the day that the wise men brought their gifts to the Christ child, the day that the Christ was revealed to the world, is how the Christian calendar sees that day. And my understanding of the New Testament is that it is a book writ large about all of us. And to overlay the Jungian understanding on the New Testament story is to say that I am every character in the New Testament. You are every character in the New Testament. The story is brought alive as we allow our imaginal selves to be the angels and the shepherds and the Christ child and the wise men. Stay with me for just a minute. You may or may not share that belief system. That happens to be one that works for me as I come to peace with my Protestant upbringing, and one that I've wrestled with off and on for years. And some of you have had this conversation with me, and some of you, this might be totally new. But just for the sake of a few minutes experiment here, try on the thought that the wise men didn't just come 2,000 years ago, but they're here today to bring their gifts to the Christ child, which is you, and you are also the wise men. Just stay with that for a moment. And stay with the understanding that you've been brought the gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. Gold, since time out of mind and in cultures all across the world, gold stood for purity and love. It is the most pure of naturally occurring metals. And this golden light, this golden substance is an honoring of that which is pure and love and abundant in you. It is a gift of gold that has been given to you today, if you're willing to accept it. And if you're willing to accept it as the Christ child, as an innocent, young, small spark of humanity, bringing the divine into manifestation. Okay? Just stay with that concept for just a moment. And then imagine too, you've been brought the gift of frankincense. Frankincense, incense. Frankincense, that which is represents the spiritual aspect of you. That which is breathing into the freshness of this moment, bringing divine into manifestation. And then the gift of myrrh, an anointing oil, costly, one of the costliest substances in that time and place, and costly still today. Myrrh, an anointing oil which represents your sovereignty, that in you which is king, which is queen, which is Christ child, born as a sovereign being, having sovereignty, having free will, having power that cannot be eclipsed by anyone or any person or any circumstance ever. Sovereignty. Breathe into that. Breathe at the possibility you have been gifted in this moment with gold representing your love and your purity and your beautiful humanity in all its wealth and abundance and health and well-being. Frankincense, your spiritual aspect lifted large and high for all the world to see. Myrrh, the anointing of your sovereignty, the fact that you have your power over which no other being on the planet has any power whatsoever. Ooh, that's big. And breathe into the possibility that's true, that those gifts are brought to you in this day and every day, but particularly at this time of the Epiphany. Can you feel the abundance, or can you feel the resistance mostly? If you're like most of us, you feel mostly the resistance. Your mind goes, oh yeah, okay, oh no, that can't be. What's he coming up with this stuff? Just stay with this process. Because in a few minutes, we're going to write letters to ourselves, letters which we will receive from ourselves at the end of December. You'll write a letter, you'll put it in an envelope, you put a stamp on it, you'll give it to us, and we'll hold it at the office in a safe place, and in December, we'll send it back to you. And you'll read that letter. So when you address that letter to yourself in a few minutes, I'm going to ask you to consider writing it in the present tense, as if you had already received that letter on December 24th, or whenever it is you receive it. Huh? And as if to claim that which you are claiming for yourself, your sacred intention that you're setting for the year on paper. And as you do so, consider claiming it from a place of knowing that you have infinite gold at your disposal, that you are the divine made manifest, and that you are pure love brought into manifestation. And consider that you've been given the frankincense, lifting up your spiritual self. So whatever you write embraces your spiritual self. I mean, it's okay to say to yourself, I really have enjoyed receiving a 2018 red Mustang with 4 on the floor, or whatever happens in Mustangs. That's okay too, but consider in your writing to your spiritual self, that which is transcendent and beyond the material also. And then consider addressing the sovereign self, that which has absolute dominion over your feelings and over the kingdom, the queendom that is your life.